Hello, lovely people of the internet. Tis I, Savage Minnow, aka Red. I am here today with my two lovely special guests, Simos Funk and the Holy Spackle. And we are here reacting to Paranormal Home Inspectors, which is a show that I have seen a few times before. I don't think either of these guys have seen it before, but it's a good time. Are you guys excited?
Never, never. But I have played Phasmophobia, so I'm kind of an expert.
Ooh, okay.
hmm Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I've had my fair share of ectoplasm, so
I've used
I'm
the
up for
spirit
this.
box and stuff, and the
Okay.
temperature. I've used the temperature.
I have done a little bit of paranormal investigation myself. We just called it ghost hunting because, like we weren't all like serious about it. But I was telling Simon, like, I have my suspicions about a lot of like ghost hunting shows, and more than suspicions about a lot of them. But this one seems to be like, it's like they're trying to be like serious about it and like not do all of that shit, but they still do. So I find it really entertaining, and yeah.
Well, I'd like to think I have an open mind towards these things, and if there's some good video evidence, or I get a visitation tonight, you never know. You never know.
I don't think that there's actually going to be
No.
good video evidence, if I remember correctly.
Well, okay, let's not just prejudge it too much.
Look.
I
Sometimes there's ghost orbs, okay, and the ghost orbs are the evidence.
sometimes, yeah. Also, noises, doors opening and closing apparently can be it. Orbs, as you say.
Orbs.
Ghost orbs.
Ouija boards. Need
It,
we need
uh,
we
Sometimes
name
you're by
more?
yourself and the
if
Ouija board moves.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anybody has video of somebody talking about an experience that they've had with a Ouija board, we could share that.
I think
Um,
we should share that later. Yes, indeed. Indeed. And yeah, so I like to say we actually have known several people in our community who have had the title official ghost hunter, or as I call them, paranormal phenomena, because it's alliteration. See, PP. And namely, of course, Von Helton, who used to be an official part of a ghost hunting team, actually. So I think
that
that says a lot.
yeah, that does say a lot.
Mm.
Sandy says, I share that someone claimed they saw orbs behind me once. Uh,
Yeah,
Is she muted?
interesting.
yeah.
I'd be interested in that, Sandy, for sure. Uh,
I mean, I
I can't
was it on
hear Red. Can
video?
you?
Can you hear
say
me?
again.
Can
I heard.
Can
No,
you
nothing.
hear Savage Minna?
Yes, I can hear Savage Minna. Can you hear
Oh,
Savage Minna?
no, I cannot.
I
That's
can
weird. Let me
Oh,
get in
hear
out.
you.
okay.
Sandy reviewed it and didn't see shit. Is
Okay.
apparently,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
That's fair
I
enough.
Sometimes there's like orbs in videos, but like it's usually just like a trick of the light.
Yeah. Or it's a coronation. Sometimes you see
Oh,
it. King's
okay.
coronation. Like I believe there were a few orbs. King's coronation. He had an orb in front of him. Different kind of orb, presumably, but
Yeah.
nonetheless. Uh, but John did die in his house. John. Wow. Okay. You mean the Apostle John? Yeah. It's a very old house you're in.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we even know from history that the Apostle John would have died somewhere. So it wouldn't surprise me if he haunts. Oh, so it's a John you know.
Ah. Okay. Oh.
Well, that's so my mom has like made jokes like her entire life about like, oh my God, if you do that after I die, I will haunt you. And for a long time I like took like notes of these things, and I was like, okay, so like this is what I need to do in order to get you to haunt me.
Okay, and Spooky Bed Hair, obviously he is an official paranormal phenomena person,
I mean,
or a
he is
PPG, as we call him.
he is a ghost, right?
He's everywhere.
Well, at least we know his pillow's haunted.
So the video that I have, I did grab one that is already, like, it has this orb on it, but that is a filter that somebody put on it. So
Ghost orb.
yeah, it's a mechanically added ghost orb, this, but that's hopefully so that we can avoid copyright. But are you guys ready to get started? I'm ready. Are you?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm excited.
Okay.
I want to see some ghosts.
I might have some like live video camera of the ghost in my room a bit later, by the way.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Just to let you know. Okay. Anyway, let's. Oh, I've seen the ghost already.
There she is.
There she is.
She's so radiant.
Actually, do you
Oh my god.
have a little bit of background info on these people? Because I did grab a little bit of info. This woman, I thought this was interesting. Oh no, wait, this is the psychic. So the person who's like the host on this show, is supposed to be like a neutral party, is the way that the show like kind of it's like the way that it presents it is that this person is a neutral party. However, if you look on like her IMDb like bio, she's a paranormal investigator. And I love this, that it says Michelle was born on a Wednesday during a dark moon.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
I was born
can
on a
see that.
blood moon to a she-wolf in the woods.
Wednesday.
On a
Typical.
Wednesday. I think it's funny when people put like that much like importance on that like nursery rhyme. Like I know I was born on a Monday just because I'm like a weird autistic person who happens to know that I was born on a Monday, but
I was born on a Wednesday. Shocker, right?
okay, that one, yeah, that fits.
That checks out.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh,
You know, look, I'm not saying she isn't a ghost, but I am scared. So there we are.
What day of the week were you born on, Simos? Do you know?
I have no idea. I have absolutely
Okay.
no idea. I'm assuming it was one of them.
Born in a
That's
crossfire.
about as much accurate as I can get.
All I remember is Sunday Child's like full of grace or something, and Wednesday's Child's full of woe, and everybody else I forgot about.
Yeah.
Monday's Child is fair and something.
Hardworking.
Has a fair face. Monday's Child has a fair face. Tuesday's Child is full of grace. Wednesday's Child is full of woe. Thursday's Child has far to go. Friday's Child, I can't remember. I think it's
dress up
Sunday.
with no place to go, maybe?
I think it's something to do with chicken, isn't it?
Friday. I thought it was dress up with no place to go.
Fridays. No, fish. Friday's Child is full of fish.
No, you're such a liar. Friday's Child is loving and giving. Saturday's Child works hard for a living. And the one that is born on Sunday is Bonnie and Blythe and good and gay.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I was probably born on a Sunday.
But you're not gay.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that one. Grace, full of grace. I'm not full of grace. I am Bonnie and gay, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to figure out what day of the week you were born later. I just think it's funny that like she put that much importance on it that she put it in her IMDb bio. Like, I was born on a Wednesday during a dark moon.
Have you ever met people that say Wednesday?
Yeah.
What? Like Wednesday?
Wednesday.
No, it's just Wednesday. Wednesday is today is right now. It's light out. It's day right now. Okay. Especially with that camera angle, right? That camera angle definitely makes it feel like a fun house.
Oh, wow. Friday, apparently.
I don't hear the sound in this.
Yeah, I'm not getting no sound either.
Okay.
You're not
Sorry,
getting sound?
what? Can we just go back a second? What day was Friday?
Friday, let's see. Friday's child is loving and giving.
Yeah, okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, if I have to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try removing this and re-adding it. I know I clicked to add sound, but
I forgot if we tested this or not.
Simos and I did yesterday.
Okay, and it came through?
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
Okay.
I remember hearing I was born on a Thursday and again the following Saturday.
What? Are you born again?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I can hear it.
Okay, good. So would you say your house is haunted? My house is not haunted.
Well, I'd say it, which wouldn't be true.
It feels a little bit like a fun house. I'm actually feeling a little bit dizzy just standing here.
That sounds like a weird fun house to me.
Yeah.
He is, you'll hear me say this, he's the only sane one in this show. There's like 3 hosts. He is actually, he's a certified home inspector who, like, he's written a book on like home inspecting. Like, he's an actual real deal home inspector. But I am sure whoever it was that like put him up to this, like, told him to like ham it up a bit, because he definitely does, for sure.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my gosh, the ghost is a rat. Never mind.
It's doing that creaky. I don't like the energy in here at all.
I don't like the energy in there.
This is the only way into the crawl space.
Well, that's freaky.
I mean, yeah, okay, it's got a creepy crawl space, but
Oh, you see, they're the paranormal ones and he's the home inspector. I get it.
yeah.
Very clever.
In the northern town of Webwood, just outside the city of Sudbury, Ontario.
I did
Brian
look this up.
Dunstan,
It's
along
like
with his daughter
north of
Stephanie and son
Michigan.
William, moved into
It's pronounced Sudbury.
3 years
by the
All
ago.
the ghosts are on the East Coast and Midwest.
Experience unexplained events.
The first time Stephanie told me, I thought she was crazy.
Until the one night he called me at work and he said, I think you're right about this ghost thing.
I'm
Damn it! It's like, you were so close, bro. Like, you were so close.
He said, I think you're right about this ghost thing.
First time, I thought she was crazy, but then, you know.
Stuff that can't be explained.
Not long after.
He also says, I am very skeptic.
Nice.
Like,
Moving into their home,
not
the
skeptical?
family experienced a devastating loss.
My sister passed away. She was 9 months pregnant. She was getting ready to have her third
It's a
baby.
2-for-1 ghost.
Car accident.
See, this is the kind of thing that, like, where it does start to actually piss me off, because some of the stuff is kind of like I was saying to Simos, it's kind of, I think of some of it as being a little bit of harmless fun. But like, when you start taking advantage of people who like have dealt with like really serious loss and stuff, that's when it does really start to bother me. I love how we had to reenact that.
I wish that we were a lot closer. I really regret not being as close of a sister to her.
So it was a very hard time after she was killed in the accident.
It was about a week after the funeral when I had the first occurrence.
Is the family still overwhelmed with the grief of this tragedy? Or is there something else going on in the home?
No,
Hoping to
probably
find some
they're
answers,
just
Brian
overwhelmed
and
with grief.
Stephanie have contacted the Paranormal Home Inspectors team.
Did they really contact them, or did the home inspectors contact the grieving couple?
I was wondering about this, and this is something that we were talking about in the private chat, is the first episode, there's only one season of this. In the first episode, they're named by like the surname of the people who live in the house, presumably. But the surname for the first episode is the same surname as like one of the producers.
Oh.
And
yeah.
Yeah, I very much think that this is like the producers like roped these people into doing this. Because also there's only one season. Like, where are they like writing into the show that like doesn't even exist when they started filming? You know?
Well, you'd have to research like lore or towns where people would talk about it, and then go interview their people and see if they're willing to sign on, which would be cumbersome, right? It would take a while.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to appear too skeptical this early on, but maybe the ghost wrote into them.
That could be it.
There you go.
That's
There
what
you
we're
go.
missing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Combining traditional and non-traditional investigative techniques, our team is made up of intuitive healer Nadine, certified home inspector
Intuitive.
Brian,
Okay.
and
Intuitive
paranormal
human.
investigator and researcher Michelle. The team will try and uncover what is behind the unsettling experiences.
Okay. Can we just set something up there?
I feel like if we were ghost
I hate to say so.
inspectors, I'd be the intuitive. I claim it.
Okay, good, good. So we got the intuitive one. So she's the one that's going to go ah, all the
I
time.
feel
I just got a really strange feeling. It came over me.
I have a heavy presence in here. I feel a heavy presence.
Heavy presence. Yeah.
oh, something is just my head is just buzzing.
The
Yeah.
energy is just
Children's laughter in the distance.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's that one. The investigator, right? The other one is the home inspector, like you've already given him his job. But the other one, the paranormal investigator, she's going to be the one that's done the research on the house. And go, oh well, in 1832, someone tripped up and stubbed their toe on that step. And that explains everything, when we moved over the step.
Yeah,
You know.
there was one. I don't remember if it's this episode, but I remember the one that it was like they had obviously done research like at the historical society on this property, or at least this part of town, and like found this like random fact about like, oh, this happened in like 1876, and it was just like, oh my gosh. I'm not going to say what it is just in case it's this episode.
Yeah,
but
yeah, no. This
so
is why I'm setting it
ridiculous.
up, because I've seen a few of these things in the past, not American ones, but I'm thinking the American ones are even worse.
This is
I
Canadian.
don't know why. Credibility, isn't it?
This is a
Also,
Canadian one.
This is Canadian.
this is
There's no
Canadian. Oh
ghosts
my
in
god. Okay,
Canada.
fair enough. Okay. Well, I mean, it might be true for all I know.
It's Canadian cable. Like
yeah.
that's yeah.
I think
That's how
have been.
obscure.
Then what
Yeah,
are they doing in Michigan?
No, they're north of Michigan in
Oh.
Ontario, is it?
Okay, so they
Simos,
are
you
in
would know.
Canada.
I would know Ontario. That is very true. I used to live there. So
Okay.
there you go. Oh well.
And what's the city that they're outside of that the narrator mispronounced?
Sudbury.
Sudbury.
Yeah, it's actually some Sundbury.
Sunbury.
Yeah, I don't know why they call it Sunbury. Sudbury. Yeah.
Okay.
Sudbury is the actual pronunciation. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and spooky is the all-knowing, all-seeing eye. That is an actual place in this country, although the place that I live by is called Sunbury.
So did they mispronounce it in Canada to like pronounce it? Like,
no, I don't think so.
England?
I don't think so. I think it is Sudbury in both places.
Isn't that a Peter Gabriel song, Salisbury Lane or something?
No,
Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill.
Oh, okay. I was getting excited. Never mind.
This is a randomly obscure song that we all happen to know too.
Well, it is an absolutely brilliant song.
It's because we all play an instrument, so of course we know who Peter Gabriel is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Anyway, there you go. Okay, so that's just the setup. So every time it's going to be the intuitive one, I feel like also at the end, right? Again, I don't want to spoil the end. I haven't seen it, by the way, everybody. But I don't want to spoil the end. But there is someone who comes in and they rip his mask off, and it turns out to be the janitor. And they go, if it wasn't for you meddling kids, I would have got away with it. Okay?
Okay. So
right, moving on.
Definitely Scooby-Doo is the one haunting here. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the woman who has the Wednesday Addams obsession. That's
Michelle
we're on a Wednesday at a dark moon.
So why have you called in our inspection team?
Because we have a lot of strange occurrences happening at our house. The first experience I had, me and my dog were sitting on the couch when all of a sudden I heard one of the cupboard doors slam. I went to go in the kitchen to see what was going on.
Yeah, that's a recreation. That isn't the actual time it happened.
Well done.
Thank you.
But also, like, look at these cabinets, and like, they're obviously like decades old. the building is a trailer, so like nothing against trailers, but like the foundations for those are not like known to be like the most flat and level, you know. Like also they're like a big wind might come through and shake the entire house. Like they're kind of notorious for that. So
and there was
Okay.
It's all
nothing
the fracking.
Have you heard?
what?
It's all the Canadian fracking.
I mean, it could be. I'm just saying that, like, I have heard in my house that is like a house that is built secured to the foundation. I have occasionally heard like a thunk or something in the other room, and it's like, well, yeah, like because it's an old house with an old foundation, and it's not the most level anymore, and
Are you saying it's settling?
yeah, it's settling. Also, like, just like shit shifts around, like you know. Big gust of wind on the windows or whatever.
Yeah.
Or yes, dad had beans. That could do it. I mean, I'm just saying.
Multiple natural explanations. We should be skeptical, I feel, at this point, because all we've seen is a recreation of a cupboard door shutting. So okay,
With some fish line, yeah, exactly.
Heard anything else strange in the house?
Yeah, we've actually heard a female voice in the house.
Female voice?
There was a time I was getting ready to take a shower, and I was going from my bedroom to the bathroom, and when I got to the bathroom door, I heard a female voice call my name from the kitchen. So I grabbed the towel, went downstairs to see who was there, but there was nobody there.
Always get shadows in around where the wood stove is, that corner. And then the one night, I seen a little girl. I was sleeping
Okay,
on the
it's not a
couch.
trailer,
When I
it's a
woke up,
cab.
I seen
Sorry.
the little girl walking by. She was there and then gone.
Do you have any ideas as to maybe who she could be?
No, I don't. There's been banging on the wall. Stephanie would bang on the wall and it would quit. And then as soon as she was done banging,
I have a question.
Okay.
So I don't mean to like poke at anybody's grief, obviously, but obviously we're so far disconnected from these people, and it's entertainment, right? So like kick me with a grain of salt. But you know, when I joked and said there was a 2-for-1, she said maybe my sister died and her pregnant. I just want to ask: do ghost babies grow up?
No.
Okay, so it wouldn't be that baby then. It's got to be a whole individual child.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're looking at possibly 3 to 4 ghosts at the moment.
Right.
There's also a theory about like that ghost babies can be like reabsorbed and then like born again, like multiple probations, like we were talking about in that other stream.
Mm-hmm.
That's cheerful. I like that.
Yeah.
So like in that sense, they would grow up, but they wouldn't grow up like as ghosts. They would grow up.
So we got a baby girl. We've got somebody calling somebody to come down from the shower just as she's about to get in. I'm going to call that lesbian 1. just I mean, we need some reference point. That's all.
I appreciate Reggie has made the comment. Moisture could also change the structure to shift differences big enough. Yes. Yeah, you're allowed to say whore. That's fine. Ghosts are attention whores. Absolutely. You are absolutely allowed to like swear in my chat. There's a couple of words that are not allowed. I think y'all know what they are. No direct insults against anybody else's person. You can insult their beliefs all you want, just don't insult them as a person.
Though you can't hold me to that when it comes to ghosts, because I might be insulting some of these ghosts.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Also, I give y'all a little bit of wiggle room if you make me laugh. I'm gonna admit it. I'm a hypocrite. Okay. Sorry.
Anybody else in the house experiencing anything?
My brother experienced the back door opening and closing.
Well, I was in here. I was making
opening and closing. Opening, not that doesn't set off my spidey senses too much, but opening and closing.
Supper at the stove.
Yeah.
My dad and brother
like
and
the house
sister
is
in the
upside
living
down.
room watching TV, and I heard the door close. And they all turned around and said, "Where are you coming from, Will?" I said, "Well, I'm not coming from anywhere. I'm staying here cooking supper."
Anything else going on?
Oh, hang on. Can we stop there again, please?
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't think much of this witness. He's not credible. He said he said opening and closing, and yet when we looked at the door, it was already open.
And then when he told the
Just
story,
closed.
it
And
didn't.
he
The
didn't say
opening
anything.
didn't pertain to the story at all. Yeah,
He
it
didn't say
didn't.
that. He just said he was cooking, turned around, and it closed.
Yeah.
So I'm a
So-
little bit suspicious of his testimony. Straight
So,
off.
so my apartment building has a nice crosswind, right? And what happens is like if I open the front door, the back door will slam shut and vice versa.
Yes, that's my parents' house was like that. That it was like you could have the front door open or you could have the back door open. But if you had them both open, one of them was going to slam closed.
Yep.
There you go. Or maybe somebody just went out the front.
Or
Have
it was a
cigarette,
ghost.
Something.
Yes, that's a very good point. Simos. Like, can he see the front from the back? Maybe somebody did just like walked out the
From the
front
kitchen.
or like went out to grab the mail or whatever, and then
Yeah.
the kitchen door slammed shut. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
Not a credible witness, in my opinion. I'm going to discount the door opening and closing as just some kind of well, I want to be in the program. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Hey,
We might
sis.
be doing Brian's job for him a little bit, but we'll see.
Hey, sis. Can I be in the program too?
Yeah. Oh well, my
make
house
some
might be
shit up.
haunted too. Yeah.
A thump upstairs, and I heard one of the toys playing. So I go upstairs, and the lid for the toy box was actually flipped upside down on the floor, and one wooden toy was playing.
Anything else going on in the bedroom?
As I was
What do you mean? Hang on, anything else? What?
Wait, did she watch it flip open? And when she says one wooden toy was playing, does she mean like it was like literally going like a car or something?
Yeah. Have you seen Toy Story 2?
Is it like that?
I think what she was saying there was she heard a noise in the bedroom, came in, the toy bin was open with toys on the floor, and one of the toys, which made a noise whenever it was jostled or whatever, was making said noise. Yes, fishing line does work great for that in the recreations. Now,
recreation is the key word there, isn't
right.
it?
We're aware that these are recreation. We'll see if there's any actual video.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a credible toy playing. Okay.
But here's the other thing that comes up with that. Here's the other thing that comes up with that. Now all of a sudden there's kids in the house.
Yeah.
So like cabinets closing, and then you go in there and no one's in there. All of a sudden, becomes like really less credible because.
Yeah. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I'd like to. I would. I mean, I'm again a little skeptical because of the lack of information about the toy. You know, which toy? That's what I want to know. Is it a boy's toy or a girl's toy? That might help us narrow it down a little bit. I'm not saying. I mean, this is in the past, right, when things were a lot more divided, shall we say?
I was gonna say, but toys don't really have a gender.
You know, yeah. I mean, was it a train going choo choo?
Well,
or was it
also like
Barbie
saying
making a cup of coffee, something like that?
For her can.
He has a point because honestly, haunted dolls are far more scary than haunted trains.
They are, yeah. Unless you watch a lot of Scooby Doo, in which case, there's quite a number of haunted trains in that. So
I was gonna say haunted trains are kind of creepy. But you know,
no, I agree with Spackle.
I also agree with her that like the way that she worded this, let's back it up. The way that she worded this made it sound like it like flipped over in front of her and then it was like a mechanical toy that was like being played with in front of her. Like
that's it.
Yeah.
Let's see the recreation as well, because that was.
And I heard one of the toys.
Sorry, you were saying. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's it. I just wanted to hear, and she said, and I heard one of the toys, something. So there we go.
So I go upstairs, and the lid for the toy box was actually flipped upside down on the floor, and one wooden toy was playing.
Anything else going on in the back?
Wooden toy.
One wooden toy. Hey, Bree. This sounds like something that would maybe be up your alley, Bree. I actually thought about inviting you in on this. This has been like kind of a joke that the three of us have been talking about for a while, but I did think about inviting you in on this, and you should maybe come by for an after party because I really do want your opinion on some of this. Because this is, yeah.
So I'm gonna put that down as just wooden toy. That's what made me think it was old, because you don't get many wooden toys these days, do you?
It makes it sound like maybe it makes noise of some sort.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe a kind of.
That's what I was thinking. Was it was like one of those toys that
Buzzing.
makes noise? Was like playing noise.
Maybe it was a buzzing sound.
Or maybe it was like a on wheels and it was rolling.
Oh, yes. Playing kind of makes me think of Jack in Box or something, you know, like that. Though. So I don't know. Anyway, look, all we've got to go on is wooden toy. I think that's credible though, because toys sometimes are wooden.
Okay. That doesn't make it that credible, but okay.
Well, I'm not saying how credible, but more credible than saying, you know, it was a paranormal toy.
I'm going to write down all the credible evidence. Wooden
toy. We've also, remember, the door only slammed, right? So only slamming doors, and also the same with the and this is what makes it credible for me. The kitchen unit slammed. It didn't open. It just slammed.
Yeah.
We've got a door slamming and a kitchen countertop door slamming. So that's 2 doors slamming. So that's twice as likely.
That there's wind in this neighborhood? Like what?
Well, that doors do in fact slam.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm just putting, you know, Speckle's making a credible list here. So let's get, you know, I'm making a list of all the ghosts we've got. So far we've got 4, of course. But anyway. Moving on then.
Okay. Moving on.
Bedroom. As I was getting ready for bed, I was laying down, and all of a sudden I had this shadow just come at me. There was no features to it. It was just a shadow.
So
that shadow was
that you're hoping that our inspection.
That shadow had features.
Sorry, we need to just go back a little. Is that when she walked into the room?
I don't think
or when she.
She's getting very intense.
Because she doesn't look that scared to me when she's recalling it. Like,
yeah, that's
oh, I
true.
remember. Big shadow. Yeah.
Okay, so this is where the fishing line pulled the toy box lid off.
Lay down on the floor. And one wouldn't.
See, they play a sound like there's a toy playing. That's why I thought that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it went.
Lay down on the floor, and one wooden toy was playing.
Anything else going on in the bedroom?
As I was getting ready for bed, I was laying down, and all of a sudden I had this shadow just come at me. There was no features to it.
So this was also in the bedroom, but not at the same time as the toy. Okay. So it sounds to me like it's like a co-sleeping situation. So it's like a bedroom for like them and the kids.
Mm-hmm. So she was laying down when the ghost came at her.
It was a shadow.
Oh, sorry, shadow.
But
I'm going to call it a shadow ghost because I'm not convinced at the moment that it wasn't.
Okay. It's clearly young.
Okay, but here's the other thing. Again, there's kids in the house. This appears to be like a co-sleeping situation. Like, did the kid like throw some stuffed like soft toy out of their crib that like went in front of the light? Like this, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's so many things that it could be that it's like.
Right.
And nobody's asking the obvious questions. That's the other thing, is they're all just like.
We're gonna get to the skeptical like ghost hunters in a minute, obviously, because they're just. I don't know if you saw this, but the Mrs. Investigator was writing.
Yes, and she hands that off to Brian.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. You know, I mean, and also it's good that they've got the recreations to go back on as well. Okay.
Do ghosts have shadows? I mean, like, they're not Peter Pan.
Brilliant question.
There's actually a whole lore with shadows and shadow ghosts and shadow beings and weird shit like that.
Maybe they are the shadow.
Yeah. See, I was thinking it was probably something more like Woody from Toy Story. It was the toy.
Oh,
What she meant to say
it's
was,
possessed
we
by
got
it.
up there and it was Woody toy, the Woody toy, right?
Somebody
That
was
was
playing with Woody.
that was still playing. Woody was playing on his own. And then when she lay down, Woody went, "Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll come on her. I mean, at her. I'll come at her." Probably that's what Woody thought.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I mean, I won't make that joke. But okay, moving on.
I'm gonna ban you from the next stream, Simos.
What? I'm trying to be
I'm
as
writing
serious
that
as
down.
possible.
Woody and come at her.
Yeah, Woody came at her. That's for sure.
Okay, so moving on.
It was just a shadow.
So what is it that you're
It was
hoping that
just
our
a shadow.
inspection team can do for you in the end?
Some answers, just to give us a peace of mind, just to know that I'm not crazy. He's not crazy.
Well, we'll definitely.
Well, we can't do that, obviously, because you
Yeah.
are.
While Michelle begins her research into the history of the property, Home Inspector Brian Daly begins his inspection, searching for possible explanations to the strange occurrences happening in the house.
Excellent.
So I'm
Excellent.
standing here in the living room, and I got to tell you, it feels a little bit like a fun house. I remember when I was a kid being at the fair, and you go into the fun house, nothing is level. I'm actually feeling a little bit dizzy just standing here. I know that in this corner,
So-
the homeowners have complained about.
So, like, the house is not level or square. Everything's out of square.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is what you suspected from the off, and
Yeah.
it's nice to hear it being confirmed by an expert.
Yeah, let's see what else he has to say. 'Cause it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shadows being cast, they're in the room and they see things. We've got a very large picture window in front of us, but it's got blinds on it that can augment that light, and lots of
weird
elements
plants.
inside, including this pipe from the wood stove that, when light comes on it at certain angles, can throw shadows. So no doubt that is what's contributing to what they see as shadows. In this corner,
What do you mean, no doubt?
there's lots
That's
of sounds
rubbish.
banging on.
Can we stop there? That's complete hogwash. All right. This expert is definitely not an expert. She said clearly she was in the bedroom when the shadows came on her, at her.
Yeah.
And like, he's downstairs in the living room.
He said, the man of the house said that he experienced weird shadows, and then the cabinet slammed while he was in that room.
I
So
missed that. Oh, God, you're good, aren't you? You are good.
I think,
Because I thought he said he saw a little girl down there. And I don't know how a wood stove can be confused for a baby girl.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, if he
But I
said he
also
saw
think-
shadows down there, fair enough. Yeah.
I also think that these people are just crazy. So
Oh, okay. Which ones?
the homeowners and
the
Nadine and
homeowners.
Michelle.
Okay.
And I think that like Brian is just like he's the only sane one, and he's just like playing into it. Like that's
Okay. He's
He
the one
did-
getting the paycheck. Everybody else is. I don't think so. I don't think he's doing it for a paycheck.
You don't? You think
No, I
he
don't.
believes this?
No, I
Okay.
think he might have some other motivations. We will yet to see what they may be.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the walls. Right outside these walls is a mature tree with branches right against the house. Obviously, in a high wind, they can bang against the wall.
Literally right against the house.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. That's a good spot.
This door closes on its own. There's no wonder it closes by itself. This back wall is leaning out towards the door. Let's just demonstrate that. Yeah, without any effort at all. It closes and actually slides.
Wow. Okay. Let's just.
I'm gonna make my way.
So sorry, I hate to interrupt, but I'm just going to cross off the credible evidence. Door slamming.
Door slamming off the list.
We agreed. We all agreed. That's not credible
it's off
anymore.
the list.
That's what I'm saying, GeoSam. It's like I don't mean like they're crazy as in like I'm like being offensive and being like, oh my, I mean like these people like probably could benefit from the help of like a mental health professional, especially the woman. She seems like she's dealing with a lot of grief. Like I like, this was a while ago. I just really hope that like she's had some type of like mental health help since then, is basically my thoughts on it.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Let's go. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I also don't think this floor is this out of level. Like, I like the.
I hadn't noticed, but you make a very good point.
It's like a half Dutch angle.
Yeah.
I know. Wouldn't they be like sliding? Whoa!
Yeah. It's like if you spin around too much. Like, did you ever do that when you were a kid? You get like really dizzy and like you feel like
you wear house socks, you'll be sliding all the way. You know.
Yeah.
We used to call them blowbacks with bear hugs.
You used to what with bear hugs?
Blowbacks with bear hugs.
I don't know what that means.
Excellent. That's the thing we used to do when we were younger, smoking pot. And you get a joint and put it backwards in your mouth and then blow.
Uh-huh.
And the smoke would come out the other end, and somebody else would suck it in, and then somebody would be behind them to give them a bear hug from behind.
What?
Don't do this at home, kids. By the way,
This sounds like a bad idea.
It sounds like a terrible idea.
It is. It's terrible. I mean, you get so.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, don't do this at home, kids. It's dangerous. But hey, that's what we used to do. Because we didn't have such things as I don't know.
It was before the live resin craze.
Yeah, for sure. Before the wax, that's for sure. And before this was before skunk as well.
So, okay. I didn't realize you were that old.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I've seen a few ghosts. Don't you worry. I am virtually one now.
Just you wait.
Because of this floor. This floor is so out of level. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. It's got to be a good 6 inches from the center to the outsides of this house.
Okay, so it is like, it's not that bad, but like it was close to that bad. Wow.
It's a half a foot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like over 10 centimeters for anybody who's outside the US. Yeah.
Definitely affecting these cabinets. They open and close by themselves.
All right. Sorry, Spackle, could you just cross off credible evidence? Kitchen cabinet shutting.
Kitchen cabinet off the list. Okay, so we're still left with wooden and shadow coming.
Yeah. Toys and shadows coming.
Oh, my bad. Let me fix that.
Okay. I mean, the problem I'm seeing here is we've got more ghosts than we've got actual appearances. We're gonna have to like somehow we're gonna have to rule out which of the ghosts which are existent and which ones aren't. Anyway, there we go. Let's see.
Tell by the ceiling line in the top of the cabinet, they're leaning in. As a result, we can see that the cabinets do close by themselves and do make a loud noise. Walls, floors, ceilings, doors, windows, all of them have to be installed properly. And in this case, none of them work.
Interesting.
Just a wave.
Okay, so this is Miss Intuition, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is Nadine, the psychic.
Okay, that's okay. Let's just get a new list ready for her because she'll have quite a bit of evidence, I'm thinking.
Okay, but I would just like to point out that we are 6 minutes and 18 seconds into this show.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems pretty like case closed to me. Right?
Well, no, because if I quickly, we've got a baby girl ghost that the father saw. We've got a lesbian shower caller. We've got the sister, of course, and her fetus, and the shadow ghost. Okay, so that's 5 ghosts. And what credible evidence is left? Spackle?
Well, a wooden toy coming in a shadow.
Hmm?
Yeah, I'm with Geo Sam on this one. It is a prefab house with shoddy construction
Sure.
in North America where it's built out of timber. Like,
I don't know. I don't know whether you can put it all down to shoddy construction. I mean, it's not like it's New York, you know. So
no, it's worse.
and this is Canada. So,
Yeah.
like, are we sure?
Oh, good point.
Are we sure?
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. If it can be like 6 inches out of level,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I
that
mean,
might be.
there might be building codes, but like, did they follow them? Doesn't sound like it.
No, that's right. That is true. I mean, I'll grant you that. It's just that, you know, we have the toy playing. I mean, it doesn't matter what level, whether that's level or not, does it?
There are kids in the house, though.
There are kids in that. There are kids in the house. Did she say that? She has a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought
So,
it was
like,
an old ghost box or something.
well, I'm just like, at this point, we haven't ruled out that like the kids like knocked the toy thing over and then
True.
like went into the other room before she made it up the stairs.
Right. So you're saying that some kids are messy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting thesis. Yeah. Kids might be messy. I'm gonna write that down next to Woody.
Kids make noise and leave messes.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
That's
Well, let's move on to the intuition, because I think we're going to
okay.
find more substantive types of evidence there than this this kind of, you know, house inspector rubbish.
Oh, okay. I'm sure that she's going to get a feeling about it.
Hit me right here as I'm coming through.
Oh,
Just gives me
sorry.
the
Can we just go back, because something hit her? Apart
with
from
the
the back
feeling.
of this guy's hand, obviously.
Oh, don't tell me I gotta go in the basement. Just a wave hit me right here as I'm coming through.
Wave.
This gives me the willies.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to write that down. So we've got a wave hit, and we've got willies.
From a willy.
In the basement.
Willies in the basement. Is that a euphemism for? Anyway, basement. Okay, got those two down.
What kind of ghosts are these? So far, you've got wood coming and
Stephanie and
Willie's in the basement. I don't know what's happening.
Poltergeists, apparently, because they're closing cabinets and playing with toys.
She was given willies in the basement. So
they're willy wave ghosts.
It's not that Willie's another ghost that is in the basement. That's a different thing.
William moved into this home 3 years ago. Shortly after the move, the family was struck by tragedy when Stephanie's sister Michelle and her unborn child perished in a car accident. Since then, the family
That's a recreation, everybody. Don't freak out.
Occurrences.
Always get shadows in around where the wood stove is.
All of a sudden, I heard one of the cupboard doors slam.
Are these events tied to the grief that hangs heavy over?
Can't hear you, muted.
Or is there something supernatural at play? Their search for answers prompted a call to.
I think the ghost gave her a wet willy.
What's a wet willy? I mean, other than what I think it is, which is obviously probably not what you're thinking it is.
Right. So it's a thing where you lick your finger and stick it in someone's ear.
It's gross. Somebody did it to me at San Francisco when we met up.
That is different to what I know as a wet willy.
It is kind of gross.
Yeah, someone violated my orifice in San Francisco that way.
I will say when I met Robbie for the first time in person, I licked his face, but I did get like consent before I did that.
Okay.
I feel like that's I need somebody's consent before you put your saliva on them, particularly like.
I literally am just kidding because, like, you know, it's just like one of those things where you're like, ew, you know, and you get over it really quick.
Yeah.
But really quick, like, they never like mention relevant information. So the first thing I would think of is like, there's shadows by the stove, and I'd be like, well, was the stove lit?
Interesting.
Yeah, they don't ask like the pertinent questions.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, potentially we may go back to the stove incident. I just want to know whether, I mean, was it consensual, Willies? Number one, and if so, did they use protection, the ghost? Those are the two questions
And do
which
you need protection
from a ghost Willie. Well, presumably.
And how would you, like, what type of contraception would you use with a ghost?
That is an interesting question. Some sort of
Yes,
some
that is
sort of
correct,
cream.
Andy. I spat on it.
Thinking.
I did not spit on him. I licked him.
You don't have
didn't.
to lick your boyfriend so that nobody has him. It's not like a cookie.
He was worried. Also, those hot cookies. The fact that they call. Never mind. Doesn't matter. He was worried that, like, when we met in person, that it would like be like weird and awkward. And I was like, I will just like break the ice and be weird and awkward and just like lick your face. And he agreed to that, and I think that he half thought that I was joking, but then I did just like lick his face, and then he laughed.
Oh, well, you told him ahead of time. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like. No, I like it. Sounds pretty romantic to me in a way. I wouldn't be disappointed, let's put it that way, if a girl said to me, "I'm going to lick you the first time I meet you." I would have higher expectations than my face, but nonetheless, I still think that's quite romantic.
And no, it was not a marking my territory thing. It was just a like breaking me. But yes, I did lick his face, but I got consent.
I heard one of the cupboard doors slam.
Are these events tied to the grief that hangs heavy over this family, or is there something supernatural at play? Their search for answers prompted a call to the Paranormal Home Inspectors team to conduct a...
I mean, those two things are not like mutually exclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. This, I think, is interesting. If I remember correctly, the way that they like word the information that they give Nadine is like, they'll be like, she has not met this family or been to the property before, but it like never like specifically excludes her like getting handed like a packet of information about the property or like about, you know.
Yeah, no, that's a little bit cynical. She's an intuit.
She's a paranormal investigator, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, psychic. She's psychic.
Their search for answers prompted a call to the Paranormal Home Inspectors team to conduct a full investigation of the property.
She looks like she's got a beard in that last picture, by the way.
As a result of poor construction.
You just want to go back slightly.
Sorry.
Yeah,
how far?
Go back. Yeah, that enough. That's enough.
Was he slapping the wall?
Yes, that was a support beam that was like not secure.
Oh, it was wobbling?
Yeah.
Slam.
Are these events tied to the grief that hangs heavy over this family, or is there something supernatural at play? Their search for answers prompted a call to the Paranormal Home Inspectors team.
And stop now.
Investigation.
There you go. She looks like she's got a beard. One of those Amish, do they call them?
Amish.
It's the filter. It's the filter.
Well,
it's the wind and the filter, yeah.
Okay. Well, you say the wind. I think it's probably the ghost that's doing that to make her look silly.
You're probably right.
There you go.
Of the property. Home Inspector Brian Daly believes the odd occurrences
are
the result of poor construction and unsound structure.
I knew as I pulled up to this house that we would have challenges on the inside simply based on what I saw on the outside.
While conducting her research, Paranormal
He knows his houses. So he knows what a house is, doesn't he? That guy.
Yeah. Like I said, he's an actual home inspector. I think he wrote a book that's like for home inspectors to like learn about home inspecting. Yeah.
That's highly credible. And yeah.
I mean, that's not like super, super highly credible, but it tells me that like he does actually kind of know what he's doing. He's not just like somebody who happens to have a home inspection license and does it on the weekends, kind of thing.
No, absolutely. I didn't. As soon as I saw his clipboard, I thought, there is a man that knows what he's doing.
You're terrible.
Comes across a story of a little girl who died close to the home.
She was hit by a car right on the highway, right in front of the store out here, Stewart's store.
I need to be serious. This is not a laughing matter.
Mid-60s.
How old was she?
She was 6.
6 years old.
She was running across.
Oh, there's the
road.
kid, 6 years old. There you go.
She wasn't looking, obviously. She was looking the wrong way or whatever. And this guy was obviously traveling too fast.
How Canadian is this man?
And he hit her and killed her.
Could Michelle's findings relate to what's been going on in the home? As she
Like,
carries on with her...
That's a very sad story. I don't want to negate that. That man was so Canadian, though. It was like distracting.
Search for clues. Home Inspector Brian Daly continues.
He was going for a rip, yay. He's going for a rip, yay, and he ran over the girl, and he said, sorry.
During the landing, the homeowner's daughter said that she heard somebody calling her from downstairs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't speak to whether she heard somebody calling her name, but I can suggest that she probably did hear something. The windows, the doors, there's so many holes in the outside of the building. Anyone walking by and talking, you could clearly hear inside of this house. The appearance of a large looming shadow in the bedroom. I've got a huge tree just outside of this wall. The tree right now is casting shadows inside this room. Look at this. There's not even a door. We've got a big black sheet. The shadow that she saw was a large black shadow. Over here, these toys apparently move by themselves. Lids from toy boxes come off by themselves. We've got dogs and cats. We've got floors that aren't level. There's no doubt that over time, as they move inch by inch by inch, eventually they'll fall down. It's my
he's
opinion
making
that
shit up now.
everyone-
He's just making that shit up. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, inch by inch by inch.
Well, it's like the cat bumps into it 15 times whenever they like walk by. It, you know.
Right. So you're saying that there's another ghost, a cat ghost. Hang on a minute. Let me write that in.
They have a dog and a cat.
Do they?
Cat ghost.
Are either of them ghosts?
I think they're both alive
Oh,
as of the time of filming.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put a question mark next to the cat ghost.
But you see what I'm saying, right? It's like like last year I had a mouse infestation actually briefly, and I realized it when I like had a moment where I was like, oh, there's a pet noise in the other room, and then was like, no, wait, my dog's dead.
Right. So there's the dog ghost as well. Okay.
But you get what I'm saying? Is like if there's just like a random noise, like how do you know that it's not just the dog or the cat? Like
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they're rats, you should get a cat ghost because
they were not rats; they were mice, and I murdered them, and I felt bad about it, but it had to be done.
Okay. Reggie's got something to say here. Says I have a bad habit of stacking things, and they do have a tendency to fall over from subtle movements over time. I think you're thinking of Jenga. There.
No.
What's going on there?
He's exactly right. You're there exactly right. I'm sorry, I don't know your pronouns, Regius.
Well, can I just point out then, in that case, that Jenga is a wooden toy.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can take wooden toy off the list. We're just going to say Jenga for that.
But like you saw Simos when I was like cleaning up in here before we started streaming, how you just have like stacks of things, and like when you live in an old house or a poorly constructed house that has like small vibrations over time, it does like just kind of start to like just shift, and eventually, it's like an avalanche that it's small things eventually add up to big things falling.
That's true.
Jenga would be a good comparison of how some of those things. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that.
I mean, I get what you're saying, that like the way that he said it sounded like bullshit. That is like, it just moves inch by inch over time. It's not going to move on its own. But it is with like the subtle vibrations in the house and the pets and everything else.
Okay, I would say it's still consistent with the ghost explanation.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It is. But it's also consistent with a clutter bug.
That's true. Maybe they just cleaned up for the camera crew, and it's always been on the floor. You know, maybe the lid has always been off the toy thing.
He's not a he's not a what is the not a ufologist, but the ghost version of that.
Yeah, well, he's Gio's putting it in side chat here. The inspector ghostologist.
Ghostologist. He's not a ghostologist.
Yeah, he's no Van Helten, that's for sure. Von Helten, even. He's no Von Helten, that's for sure.
He is part of the Canadian board of whatever.
Of the complaints that the homeowner has had on this building can be easily...
Look at that house, though. Like, it does look like it's about to fall down, doesn't it?
Well, maybe. Maybe some of it.
Explained by physics.
The
structure is a real concern. The whole thing creates that unbalanced feeling inside, and that has...
Well, look, there you go.
Anybody...
That ball moved.
When they're in...
That ball moved by itself. He didn't
Confirm.
push it. He did not push it. Okay.
That has started.
I'm going to write that down as credible evidence again. Oh, actually, Spackle, you're doing the credible evidence. Sorry. Okay. Interesting.
Haunting confirmed.
Well, I wouldn't say confirmed. Just slightly more likely than it was before.
Okay.
Inside this house.
Brian is satisfied that simple physics can reasonably explain most of the unusual occurrences in the home. To complete a full investigation of the property, intuitive healer Nadine Mercy will conduct her inspection. With no prior knowledge of the house, occupants, or the unsettling events, Nadine will take the spiritual pulse of this home.
Nadine and her willies. That's what we want to know about.
She's going to take the spiritual pulse.
Why am I here? Deep depression.
Why am I
let
here?
go?
Deep depression. Write that down.
Yeah, writing that down. Deep depression.
Despite all the anxiety that they've endured.
She's back doing another one of these shows.
Anxiety.
That would give anybody
Write
deep
that down.
depression.
I'm walking up disturbed.
Sorry, I missed that. Anxiety, did you say?
Yep.
Okay, yep. Thank you.
Boom, just a wave hit me right here as I'm coming through. I don't like the energy in here at all. This gives me the willies.
That doesn't like energy.
Now we're back to basement willies.
Oh. Okay, let's move.
Doesn't like energy.
Okay, something's moving through me.
As Nadine travels...
Okay, had a very large dinner. I mean breakfast. Large
okay.
breakfast.
Does she have GI issues? Like that stomach dumping thing?
Did she eat Taco Bell?
I think it was figs. If I'm going to have to say something about it.
Oh, okay.
Probably figs.
Okay. Write that down.
I have written that down. It's already on Nadine's list. She's had willies in the basement, and she's had figs in the basement.
I also, the other thing with this is, if the people,
good point,
like my house is a little bit falling apart because I've been dealing with depression. Like that's like one leads to the other. You know, it's a positive feedback loop.
Well, because everything that would be normally unacceptable to you becomes acceptable. Yeah. So.
To be fair, though, they've only had it 3 years, and even if it's deep depression, I don't think that's going to cause a 6-inch slump in one corner of the property.
Well, clearly it was depressed before they came.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, if the person who is there, like living in a house that is falling apart is going to like lead to feelings that will add to depression, and having depression is also going to lead to the house falling to further disrepair.
That's why if you buy a house like that, you got to leave one wall up and support it, and then call it a remodel so they don't charge you up the wall of the taxes, and just do it yourself and get like a contractor involved.
As somebody who has moved not that long ago, I will say, like, don't move into a house expecting to like do the repairs as you go, because it does get like it gets so depressing and bogged down, and like, yeah, just like do it. Even if you can't afford to do it before you move in, like do it right away. Is my suggestion.
Or at least make a deal with your ghosts to get them to do the repairs.
Yeah.
The hard things to repair are even electrical's not too bad. It's plumbing that's the worst.
Yeah.
Plumbing and foundation. Because if your foundation's wrecked, good luck fixing your house. You have to fix the foundation.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm dealing with plumbing issues right now, and it is not fun.
Like how like if they are that slanty, what in the world is this house even on a foundation?
Well, that's the part of what I'm dealing with actually is that I had part of my plumbing was leaking, and I didn't realize it, that like the seal on the toilet had come off, and so it was leaking under the linoleum in the bathroom, and it's caused the subfloor to warp.
Oh no. Yeah, that's not good.
So I mean, it's not like bad enough to where it's going to be huge repair issues, luckily for me, but like in this case, that something like that over time, you know, a kid spills something on the carpet, nobody notices it for a long time or whatever, like that's might have led to the floor being warped.
Right.
Indeed.
Also, they have that big fucking, sorry, brain fog, wood burning stove, that's going to warp the floor if they don't have like enough.
Yeah, usually they lay tiles or something down, right? Like for that.
Yeah.
So
Plumbing.
actually, Spooky makes a good point as to why this couldn't be a haunted house, because the ghosts use spirit level. So
Plumbing and structural can go hand in hand. Who needs all those joists to hold up the floor? We need the pipe run through the air. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, it all feeds into itself, is my opinion of it. So.
Upstairs, she senses the presence of a female spirit.
My heart's really pounding.
Female spirit? That's very specific.
Talk to me in here. Seeing a cemetery. Headstone. A lady's funeral. She's here now. Wasn't my choice. She says, forgive me. I'm sorry. Uncontrollable circumstances. I was able to see a female energy, a mother, and I'm hearing beloved sister. She had messages for her family.
Oh, come on.
You know,
I know, like.
Yeah, but
seriously?
She's never been there before.
She's never been there before, and she's never met the homeowners before.
Also, she hasn't seen the reconstructions either.
Right.
I mean,
sure.
I guess she hasn't seen the reconstructions, and she probably hasn't noticed the female clothes and the toys.
Right. Yeah.
Just to say those two things as well. She probably hasn't just walked into a room, didn't see a clothes rack with lots of dresses on. She missed
or a picture of, you know, their sister, or, you know, like, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you could walk into my house and tell that, like, I have a dog and a cat that have died recently, because, like, just from my front room, you could tell that, okay? Like,
yeah. I mean, you know, when she walked into the house, she probably didn't see, you know, like a whole load of knickknacks, cushions, wall decorations, right? Because all of those things, you know, like, they don't give away that a woman's decorated a house. Just saying.
Yeah.
Come to my house, and there's not a thing on the walls. I painted them, and that's that. It's done. No knicknacks anywhere.
You know,
obviously.
that's true. The only
And as for
pictures that are on the
cushions,
wall are the ones I put up. Like, I'm the one that puts things up on the wall. That's weird.
That's true. Simos has nothing on his walls.
Absolutely.
Completely bare.
And how many cushions? How many cushions did I have? Can you remember the number of cushions in the house?
I have guitars on my wall too.
There was a sufficient amount of cushions, no more, no less than were needed.
Oh no, I had pillows. I didn't have any cushions though, did I?
Oh no,
I don't have cushions. I won't, because I won't have them in the house, because they to me they attract the ghosts. That's what cushions do.
Okay, back to ghost hunting.
Alone, I'm always with you.
I'm always with you.
Be good to the kids. They need you more than ever. She reads them stories at night.
They're dead. What are you talking about?
The girls need to know she's always on their right side. cuddle up in a blanket when you feel uncomfortable. I'm here with you. Mommy loves you. She's telling me to speak often. She says you're doing a good job. Just speak. She also helps a sister.
Could the female spirit Nadine encountered upstairs be that of Stephanie's sister? Could the little
No.
girl downstairs be the same that Michelle discovered in her research? With night falling on the final day of our
Unlikely.
investigation, Michelle and her assistant Matt prepare to spend the night.
I need
Oh
you
God. Okay.
to passive infrared in the kitchen.
Who's
and,
Matt? We don't know who Matt is.
Max is
Is it
not
Matt? Is it?
he's not a constant on the series. They
Okay.
have Nadine has a series of different assistants, and they like disappear sometimes, and it's seems to be chalked up to like they got spooked out by whatever was in the house. It does not appear to be related to whoever they happen to have available that week.
So it's
According to
the
the show.
researcher. Just to check this out, it's the researcher and Max, maybe a current boyfriend, maybe. Can we go that far?
The one assistant was a girl, so I don't know that the assistant is necessarily a partner or if it's just like some guy.
Just some guy that she found. Okay, some
Yeah.
guy. I'm just going to put Max down as some guy.
I mean, she might be banging him. I don't like. I guess that would be one way to convince him to come help her.
Okay, no, just some guy. That's fine. And what's the other woman's name? The inspector? The
So there's
paranormal house
Nadine
inspector?
and Michelle.
Michelle. Okay, just to check. Okay.
Yeah, she's the quote unquote lead researcher. Is Michelle McKay?
Good. Okay, I think we're going to get some really good evidence now from Michelle because she's done her research, so she's going to be in the know.
Okay. Yeah. Now Nadine is the one who's blessed with the ability to see energy of the world around her.
Oh, that's so sweet of you to say blessed. Some would say insane, but you know.
Maybe, yeah.
Can we just go back to the beginning of Michelle's bit because I might have talked over the beginning because I didn't know who Max was.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Michelle and her assistant Matt prepare to spend the night.
I need you to put a passive infrared in the kitchen and passive infrared in the upstairs bedroom.
Ooh, that's what I learned in my ghost game.
Okay.
You can also put salt on the floor to see if they step in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. Oh, so she is technically advanced then.
Yeah, she's the one who's like the ghost hunter. The other one is like just the psychic reader.
So this is where like they use like spirit boxes, or they'll use infrared sensors and temperature gauges, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I think we are going to get some very good evidence here then.
And we do like to use lots of like there's also tricks that we use when we get this footage.
Do we?
The people that I've worked with.
Okay.
So like there are different ways that you can manipulate these things, but like there are also like the supposed like proper ways to use them and stuff. So we'll see if they.
Yeah, see if they do it properly or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have your flashlight?
Got my flashlight.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, I just saw an orb. I saw the orb. Can we just go back and see the orb again, please?
This is if they are showing this as literally the first one, I'm gonna get ticked.
Flashlight?
There,
Okay, there we go.
There.
Oh, okay. It was just the flashlight in her hand. Okay.
Oh, that was the flashlight. Okay, that wasn't an orb.
I was
There's another orb.
excited that there's a
I
ghost.
can see another orb. There's
does look
orbs
like an
everywhere
orb.
now.
That looks like a ghost orb.
I was worried that they were going to do like the trick where they set down the flashlight and then like the flashlight comes on and off. Which I don't know if either of you guys are familiar with that and how we do that.
I'm not, no.
So you just like an old school flashlight, like the newer ones won't work, but the ones with the tube where you like with the C or D size batteries, so you turn it to where it just barely turns off. And then
interesting.
Yeah. And so basically like then you turn it on and then turn it off, and then it'll like heat itself up, and then it'll like
Right.
basically
Flicker.
Let
yeah.
me just. Oh, there's an orb. There's an orb.
This
Oh!
is very much
Oh!
like the Phasmophobia game that I play, because the flashlights, when they flicker, it means the ghost is on the hunt, and you better go find a hiding place.
Yeah, it's just because you manipulate
Okay. Just gonna
the
write that down.
flashlight where it's just barely on, and then when it cools down, it'll
Okay.
It's just the mechanics of a flashlight.
Okay, so she's put something on the fridge. I think
It's the
that's credible.
infrared, right?
Yeah.
The passive
'Cause
infrared.
ghosts always go for the fridge first. That's well-known fact.
Also, like a refrigerator is going to have like varying amounts of like heat because it has a cycle.
Oh,
that it's
interesting.
They always make weird noises too, right? To turn on and
Wow.
off.
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
that's
like it.
one of the. So if it'll be interesting if it's one of those things where it's like, oh, like the whole field of vision changed in like the passive infrared. It's like, well, yeah, because the refrigerator kicked on or whatever.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Can you knock back again? Where was that coming from? Upstairs?
Oh, also, I didn't mention earlier, but they were talking about like how like there were noises in the walls, and then when they knocked on the walls, it stopped. I'm like, has anybody checked for raccoons?
Yeah, interesting. So they just heard something there. That was our first actual on-camera proof.
Yeah. Do we know that it wasn't like somebody in the other room?
Well, I mean, presumably there is a camera crew there, but
right.
who knows? Who knows?
Here, I'll run back.
Thank you.
Yeah, right away. Can you knock back again? Where was that coming from? Upstairs?
Upstairs.
Oh my gosh, okay. Where are you? What room are you in? Are you in here? We're definitely getting some kind of reaction.
Was that a Ouija board I just saw?
Can you do that again?
Was that?
There's a Ouija board there.
It was not a Ouija board, but
Coming from upstairs? Oh
Well, you say it's not a Ouija board, but
where are you? What room are you in? Are you in here?
there, Ouija board.
I mean, it
Is that a
could be.
carpet?
No, it's one of those toys with the wooden things where you put the cutouts in. Or as Reggio's puts it, kids' first Ouija board.
Kids' first Ouija board. Steve grew up on those things, by the way.
Neither of you guys have kids, so you don't know what that is. It's a thing. It's about the size of like a keyboard, but it's made of wood, and then they like die cut
wood. I'm going to write that down.
It's a wooden toy. That's what it is. And then where you see the letters, there's also letters that are literally that size that are wood, and you can put them in there. And so it's like the square peg and the that toy, but it's a letter version.
Okay.
And it's supposed to teach us the alphabet in order, but it doesn't really.
Okay.
It's
or
like your very first puzzle.
Yes.
Yeah, you say letters. I mean, you probably mean a planchette, don't you? But okay, fair enough.
You should cue that video up so that we have it ready.
Okay, I will.
We're definitely
Everybody's
getting
seen it.
reaction here.
That's okay.
Can you do that again? There's something here.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Is that above us?
Yeah. Now, if that is a raccoon, it just dragged something big. It's like moving furniture. It sounds like almost.
You said raccoon, like you said.
Yeah, so you recognize it, like.
Okay, I guess we're going downstairs. What the hell?
She's gonna like look up into like the attic, and there's like a party going on. The raccoons.
This is the only way.
Oh my god.
Jesus, that's scary.
It's like intended to be scary.
Hello? Like somebody out here?
Hello?
Like they didn't need to make it that noise for like the motion detectors. They did it that way to like be scary.
Do you have something to say to us? Okay, there's like saws in here and tools and everything. And do you feel that shaking?
Yeah.
Well, this is weird. Okay, Matt, I feel like really dizzy. Did you feel dizzy in there?
Yeah.
Whoa. I'm hearing something. The door's open.
Okay.
Whoa, what? Can you
She
hear?
literally just opened it.
Did you hear a noise? I don't know. I'm feeling really dizzy. I don't know. Okay, seriously, I feel like I'm almost gonna faint.
She's like whipping her head back and forth. Of course you're dizzy.
I'm running
like,
around
I'm gonna
the
faint.
camera to make you get loads of weird angle shots. Oh, look, I'm feeling dizzy.
No, I'm feeling faint.
I just don't. I don't know. This is weird.
I'm
So I'm gonna sit down
hyperventilating.
for a second.
Getting
This is
lightheaded.
really bizarre. I think we've given it our best shot here. So I think if we are,
She's aborting the mission, really, over that?
it would be on there by now.
I agree, yeah.
What do you think?
It's a bit of a surprise.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it? Because you're on the show Paranormal Home Inspectors.
Our clients Brian and Stephanie moved into this renovated log cabin 3 years ago. Shortly after moving in, they began
That's renovated?
strange phenomena, and they want some answers.
Oh my God.
3 inspectors that form a unique team are brought in to investigate. What have they
I
discovered?
hate to figure out what it was before it was renovated.
And what will our homeowners do?
It was one of those
Brian,
prefab
our certified home
log
inspector,
ones.
has conducted a
I'm
traditional home inspection, and I'm going to show you what he had to say.
I got to tell you, it feels.
He said this building should be condemned and bulldozed.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Uh-huh.
His traditional home inspection.
It's a little bit like a fun house. Nothing is level. I'm actually feeling a little bit dizzy just standing here.
Oh,
The
he's
homeowners are
feeling dizzy
complaining
as
about
well.
shadows
I'm going to
being
write that
cast,
down.
Light refraction, light can be thrown. There's lots of sounds of banging on the walls. The outside elements have influenced what's going on the inside. The kitchen cupboards banging. Not only weren't they level, but they were out of square as well. The back door closing by itself is not installed properly. The appearance of a shadow, I think the combination of large trees and the blanket has definitely caused what she thought was a shadow. These toys apparently.
Yeah, do we know that it wasn't just like a car driving by? Like,
interesting.
Move by themselves. We've got dogs and cats. We've got floors that aren't level. Hearing voices on the landing is easily explained by the building envelope. It's not tight. This case was closed before I walked in the door.
What do you think?
Oh, some of the stuff he's saying, probably true.
Now, based on Brian, you seeing an apparition.
some of the stuff he's saying, probably true. Like, did he? I feel like he took that as an insult. He's like,
What did he say? What was his answer? I didn't even understand what he said because it was heavy Canadian accent.
Some of the things that the home inspector pointed out are likely to be true.
Probably true. Okay. Yeah.
I just feel like he did the man thing where he was like, well, that kind of hurts my feelings. This is probably true.
Yeah.
Version of a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I looked further into that, and I found out that there was a little girl that was killed when she was crossing the street just out front of the general store.
I got goosebumps.
Oh, where's the general store?
All of that in mind.
Words out of my mouth.
Conducted our night investigation of the home.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you what we experienced. Where was that coming from? Upstairs?
Upstairs.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Can you show
Oh my gosh.
Where are you? What room are you in? Are you in here? We're definitely getting some kind of stuff in here.
Except for downstairs.
Okay, I guess we're going downstairs. What the hell? Is there somebody out here?
That was the fridge one, was it?
Supplies in here and tools and everything. And do you feel that shaking?
I think it was the
This is weird.
between the kitchen and the.
I feel like really.
I'm gonna call it the lean-to.
Okay.
We've given it our best shot here.
The utility shed. I don't
You
know.
and Brian seem to have very different opinions of what's happening in the house.
You might be interested in seeing what Nadine had to say, our third expert.
There's spirits in this home. There's spirits around the home.
We say expert.
Seeing a cemetery, a lady's funeral. I was able to see a female energy, a mother, and I'm hearing beloved sister. Boom, just a wave hit me right here as I'm coming through. There was a distinct energy that came from the back of the house. I'm hearing more of a male figure. I was interrupted by that energy, this female spirit. She was talking with me and then she disappeared. So the female spirit in that energy in the back room just don't jive. And there was another spirit.
I think when they say renovated, what they mean is that they took like the faux logs off the outside, put on traditional siding, and slapped a lean-to on the back. That's what I think that they mean by renovated.
Okay.
Spirit, a younger child that has had a mishap in the neighborhood. She visits this home as well. And she was happy energy. The female spirit, she had messages for her family. She still hasn't stopped giving her love. You know, even though physically the family can't see her, her presence is still here. I love you dearly, even though we fought at times. The family has deep regrets, and she has regrets. She's just there to remind them of the hope that they've lost at times.
I thought it might have been Michelle, but
It's a bit of a surprise.
How
is there comfort in knowing that the spirit energy in your home is family?
Absolutely. It's just because there was so much left.
How can that be a surprise if that's what they asked? Like when they first got there and they were like, could it be my sister? Oh, that's a surprise. It's my sister?
Yeah. Well, no, she's saying it wasn't the sister. The Nadine, the psycho one, said that it was the little girl that was killed 2 miles down the road in front of the general store.
But she said that there's also her sister there.
Oh, right. Let me just go back. Let me just go back to my list. There we go. Oh yes, no, that was a mentioned ghost. Yes,
that's the sister.
She could have been the one calling her from the shower.
Deep regrets, and she has regrets. She's just there to remind them of the hope that they've lost at times.
I thought it might have been Michelle, but
It's a bit of a surprise. Yeah.
Is there comfort in knowing that the spirit energy in your home is family?
Absolutely. It's just because there was so much left that was left unsaid between the two of us, and we didn't get to spend the time together that I know I would have liked, and we weren't as close sisters as we should have been. Just to know that she's been here and looking out for us, that's comforting to know.
it's comfort to know that she is, her spirit is here.
It helps me a lot too, because you know, this whole time not knowing if she knew how much she meant to me and how much I loved her, even though we weren't that close.
I guess this gives me like mixed feelings again, because it's like I don't like that they are manipulating people who are grieving. At the same time, if this helps to give these people closure, is it really that bad?
Yeah, bad is a relative word there, isn't it? So, I mean, that clearly the sister and, you know, the sister's had a difficult relationship.
Yeah.
And, you know, that can be terrible when someone's taken away from you and you haven't had a chance to reconcile with them when you feel you should have done. But like two sisters not getting on with each other, is that unusual? Don't think it is.
No, I don't think that it is. It's like in some ways, I almost think that it's kind of nice that they're like giving her closure that she maybe wouldn't otherwise have. But on the other hand, it's like, I also feel like you're kind of taking advantage of her grief for Canadian cable television.
Well, yeah, I mean, also potentially, you know, if this paranormal investigating team paid her some money or paid the father some money, that could help with renovations. So that might
True.
That might work out as well.
Yeah,
it'd be a good thing all round.
Yeah, I don't know. I still have mixed feelings about it. But
yeah, and like to be fair, you know, I'm not criticizing too much here, but this is refreshing in some ways for me, because like the last time I saw a video with a black guy and two blondes, it was very different. Very different.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I'm glad you don't know what I mean by that.
Oh, Lord.
Did something just go completely over my head?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I just hit play?
It's something
I
to do
think
with his
so.
browser history, probably.
Something to do with my browser history, indeed.
Okay.
It's comforting to know she felt the same way.
A month after our paranormal home inspection, Stephanie and Brian seem satisfied with the team's findings.
Would you stay in your house if you knew that it was haunted?
Well, not all ghosts are mean, right? Allegedly.
How do you know that it's haunted ever?
You just know.
Should we go over the credible evidence again?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I feel like in this case it's their sister, right? And a little girl from down the block who's a happy
Exactly.
kid. So,
Yeah, exactly. So there's no harm done here, really.
Yeah.
As far as I can see, maybe the big shadow would be a bit worrying.
Yeah.
Big shadow ghost.
I don't know. Can it like help you find your keys when you lose them and stuff? Like that's
interesting.
She talked about an aggressive male presence that the woman ghost didn't get along with, and they just didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, well,
That's
the
right,
one
they
that
didn't.
gave her the willy.
Yeah.
Gave Willy in basement.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that one in the roundup.
It got dropped, I think.
Oh, okay.
But she did say, as Spackle said, that it was the two spirits didn't get on with each other. The upstairs female spirit of the little girl, even though the little girl was downstairs, and the basement spirit, which was where she felt the energy, the difficult energy.
Yeah, with the tools. And
I would be concerned about going down to the basement, but I think the rest of the house sounds fairly sound for me.
I would maybe just be worried in general in that house that it's hopefully they've done some repairs since then. So
exactly, they got some money now, so
yeah.
After our paranormal home inspection, Stephanie and Brian seem satisfied with the team's findings.
Some of the stuff was making sense, like from the home and the structure and stuff like that, but the other stuff just couldn't be explained other than there was the presence here.
I haven't had any more visits from any little girls, but I expect someday, probably. But it doesn't bother me now. Like, I've accepted it. Very glad that the inspection team came and did the inspection there. It answered a lot of questions.
All right.
But did they answer a lot of questions, really?
Case closed.
I mean, apparently that's case closed for them.
I mean, like, I don't know about you, Speckle, but the credible evidence that I've got down here, virtually all of it was dealt with in a very rigorous and I would say empirical way. How about you?
So case closed. We've decided that they were indeed haunted. Is that?
Well, I mean, as I say, there was the shadow ghost, which I'm still not convinced about. There was the baby girl ghost, which I'm not convinced about.
What about those noises they heard? But we thought it was raccoons.
Noises.
Raccoons.
Raccoons. Yeah. So we got raccoons.
So they
We got
were
a cat
raccoons.
ghost. We got a dog ghost, and we got a raccoon ghost. All of which I'm not convinced about.
I mean, like, can you imagine that, like, lean-to whatever the fuck it was without raccoons?
Good point. Good point.
I'm kind of afraid there will be more ghosts because that beam that he was shaking is going to fall on someone's head.
I didn't hear enough about the raccoons or what furniture they were moving. I mean, probably because they like went in there and it was like, oh, it was the film crew. Got it.
I love raccoons, unless they're rabid, but like they are so cute when they grab something. They go, "This needs to be cleaned," and they run to the river and they're like, "Let's wash this."
They're the greatest. Rakins.
Yeah, there was one thing which I felt was not addressed in the video, really, which was there was some dizzy people.
There were a lot of dizzy people. She was about ready to faint, she said, several
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
That's what happens if you hyperventilate.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay. I mean, Matt said he was dizzy, so I mean, he's a credible witness because he said fuck all.
I feel like he was being hyperbolic.
What year was
Okay.
this made?
2011.
Okay, so this is
Oh,
like
okay.
not post-COVID, because I have to tell you, I do get breathless after COVID.
Yeah, no, this is pre-COVID.
Okay.
This is
Well, I mean, I think case closed as well. I wouldn't bother opening it again. That's for sure.
Well, the homeowner is certainly happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, like you said, La Savage. It's exactly what you said. I think a positive result was had by all, and I would. There were questions which do remain unanswered.
very much. Very much so.
Yeah. Who contacted the psychonormal, paranormal, phenomenal
Kill it
people?
with fire.
Who was
Yeah.
that?
I tried to look into it a little bit more. There's not a whole lot of information about this show.
Okay. It is the first one though, so fair enough,
This is not the first one. I started with not the first one because I started with one that somebody had already filtered, just to like kind of try and avoid dealing with copyright.
Yeah.
It's
very
already
wise.
on YouTube, so I don't think it should be an issue, but I figured we would start like this and see.
Okay.
There is a copy of the first episode on YouTube. It doesn't have the ghost orb over it.
Oh, sugar. Yeah, no, we didn't. We did see the ghost orb.
Yeah.
And although somebody was holding a flashlight at the camera at the time it happened, granted, that's still not inconsistent with ghosts. In
We
fact,
could probably make a ghost orb overlay for you.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I could probably like pipe it in through OBS and do it, like make my own ghost orb.
I'd be very interested in that.
Okay.
I would definitely be interested in having access to such.
Because I do want to see. It's like I bet it's like her cousin or whatever. You know what I mean?
Could be. Yeah, it could be. It could be the previous owners because, like, this was another thing, right? Which I thought is, if they'd only bought the place 3 years ago, right? That was said in the thing, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of says to me, when did everything happen? What was the timelines here? We didn't really get timelines, did we?
That's true. With her like sister and everything.
A little bit suspicious there as well. No timelines mentioned. But like I'm saying, I don't think anything there was inconsistent with ghosts, with a right good haunting, basically. So there is that. But on the other hand, I don't think there's anything inconsistent with it being a fucking shitty house that really is just a fucking nightmare that they wish they'd never bought.
Yeah.
So, difficult to say. Difficult to say.
I don't think that this house is haunted.
If I were them, I probably.
Or I don't think that there's evidence of it being haunted. I guess I should say that.
No. But that's not to say that even skeptical people don't have some very strange experiences. And I think what they should do is probably go back to that Ouija board upstairs that they found.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe try and get some more concrete answers.
Or yeah,
we all know Ouija boards can be extremely enlightening.
I think that is the case if I remember correctly.
Let's just see, because we've got some testimony here which I'd like to play.
This is Simos Funk. I think this is when we were talking about is personal anecdotal subjective evidence grounds to say something is reasonable even though they cannot display it or show it to be true.
I've had I've had the weirdest experiences with Ouija boards that I can't explain. Like legit, like with other people and by myself. So it's even though I do believe it's the idiomotive effect, right?
Okay, all right.
That face he makes, he's an atheist. Edge is like, I can't handle this.
And by myself. I think that's hilarious.
I love the one that we don't have a clip of where he's like, and I experimented with a friend and without by myself.
Like, you know what?
The without a friend's the best
Purple
part.
purple titties to you. Couldn't be said better.
Now, actually, though, agnostics I've run into agnostics that do believe in afterlife or ghosts, or I mean, Captain Awesome believes in ghosts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I run into a few. Like, it isn't as uncommon as you think.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, this is kind of hard because I consider myself probably more of an agnostic than an atheist for going with Steve's definition.
Traitors, every one of you.
I don't necessarily think that like ghosts, if people tell me about experiences that they have had, I don't necessarily disbelieve them. And I think that there probably is something more to this plane of existence than we as humans are able to be aware of with our five senses.
I've seen some weird things that are hard to explain, but then I'm the religious one here, so like I'm sure Simos will be like, shocker.
Well, no, I'm saying, you know, like, you know, who's to say? You know, some of my best friends have had some very strange experiences. But then, you know, they don't know what kind of a practical joker I am, so.
I mean, I've had like the experience where I like heard a voice from on high, you know. I've had
yeah, me too.
Savage Menno, aisle 9, please. Aisle 9.
We both had
No, I'm
girlfriends, haven't we,
kidding.
Savage? So
it was actually, it was a male voice, which is
okay.
one of those things that's like for a lot of people who have like kind of like life flash before your eyes type experiences where they hear a voice, typically it's like their own voice, but mine was not.
Interesting. Maybe you had a deeper voice in a previous life.
Maybe my like.
Maybe it was somebody else's life flashing before you.
Maybe.
Because you're still here, so
yeah,
potentially could have been the person, you know.
Well, it was because of the voice. Have I not told you guys about this experience that I had?
Funnily enough, I don't recall it offhand.
It's kind of one of those that like still gives me goosebumps a little bit, but it's
I'm
weird.
going to mute this one if you don't mind.
Okay. So this is I was like 14 years old, I think, about that. I was training for like national competition, but then I had like another horse that I was training up to be like my horse for the next year. So I was training him on like cross country. He wasn't my competition horse though, and he was a really big, like 2,000-pound warm blood Percheron cross. And we were doing cross country, and there was an oxer, which is like a wider jump. And he was a younger horse that was inexperienced with that, and he like caught his hooves on the back part of the jump and like turned in the air and like landed on me, actually, like on my leg, which is how I messed up my leg and my back. And because he was a new horse, and because it was just like, I think I was borrowing a saddle or something, I didn't have safety stirrups on, and my foot went into the stirrup and like got caught in the stirrup. And he was like scrambling to his feet, and he like, and I was like trying to like pull my leg out, and like literally had like my hands like on my leg, like trying to pull it out. And I heard this voice that said, make your leg go limp. And I actually ignored it at first. And I was just like, what the fuck ever. And it came a second time and louder. And it was this like a commanding, almost like shouting at me, make your leg go limp. And I did. And as soon as I did, my leg happened just the way the horse was scrambling, dropped out of the stirrup. He got to his feet within 2 seconds and took off at a full gallop. And I can't explain how that happened. It's like I said, it's giving me goosebumps. But it's, yeah, some weird neurological thing happened in my head and got me out of it.
Or it's Jesus.
Or it's Jesus.
Oh, the horse was Mr. Ed.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
That's a very nasty accident. I
Yeah,
used to go
freaky.
watch cross country jumping when I was first got back to England, and yeah, I mean they're big horses. Oh my God, they're huge, and yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember seeing lots of people taking tumbles. Princess Anne, in fact. I saw Princess Anne go into the water several times because a horse hit the jump. Very dangerous.
That was probably before we wore crush vests too.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, no, they used to wear bibs.
Yeah, wasn't Christopher Reeves part of the turning point for that?
Probably around that time, yeah. He was wearing a helmet when he fell, but yeah, I remember that they changed like the ASTM SEI regulations shortly after that. And crush vests were, hey Beck.
Hey Beck.
Crush vests were in the 90s that they started like regulating them. And when I was riding, so like the first years that I was riding, we couldn't wear them in like certain events. And then they had like certain brands of crush vests that were like made to like look like they were like your stock shirt. So like you could wear them in those events basically. But then by the time I was actually like competing at a high level, it was like, no, like you, not only were you allowed to wear them at all events, but most events actually required them.
Oh, I say, spooky. That's exciting.
I've ridden a horse exactly twice, and I was really nervous actually because they are big, huge animals. Like, I mean, you know, and you're just like trusting them. And the second time I rode a horse, it was an older horse, and the horse decided, no, I don't want to go, and I just want to go in circles. And they're like, yeah, they're getting ornery now. They're really old. I'm like, well, then let me get off them. Clearly, he's had enough.
Sometimes they get a little barred down. Yeah. So this is not like a sexist thing. This is actually just like a thing with horses. Is mares actually typically are a little bit more headstrong.
Right.
It just has to do with their hormones and the way that they're made to be more protective, basically. Because like stallions in the wild will like go off and like fight with other stallions. When we keep them as geldings, they lose that, you know. But then they're just like basically like puppy dogs.
Beta.
Have you ever seen 28 Days with Sandra Bullock?
No. Oh yes, I have. Somebody showed it to me because I was in rehab for actually exactly 28 days.
So Sandra Bullock and like all of them had to do a horse exercise, which you've probably seen before. That actually does exist in some rehab or also mental kind of situations or team building. And the idea was like you reach down and you have to get the horse to lift up its hoof. And people would just try to force the horse, and the horse would be like, not gonna do it.
Yeah, that is like one of the things about horses is like you have to like learn how to communicate with them, because there's a lot of stuff where it's like if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. If they get scared, they're not going to do it. if they get startled, they're not going to do it. So like you have to, I had the horse that fell on me, like I said, big Bertrand Cross, huge horse. He was, when we first got him, he was afraid of the trailer. And I don't know what his past was, but like for whatever reason, he was afraid to get in the trailer. And it was like the most annoying thing when we're like getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to like pack up and like go to a like show out of state. And this like giant horse is just like, no, I'm not getting in there.
Nope, not gonna happen. I mean, do you blame a horse for not wanting to get in the trailer? It's gotta probably feel weird for them, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening?"
Well, what we learned with him, and this is kind of funny. So horses are actually, they're kind of like front heavy, just like the way that they're built, because they have that big long neck and everything. And I think that he just maybe like had like a really tight trailer, and maybe like the trailer driver wasn't that great with him before, and he just felt uncomfortable. And what we learned is if we like took the dividers out before he got in, let him get in and turn around to where he was facing backwards, he was more comfortable riding backwards. And then after that, like after a few years, he was perfectly fine. But for years, it was a good 2 seasons that we would be like at shows packing up to get back, or even like I said, at 6 o'clock in the morning trying to pack up and leave. And I would take the lunge line, the big long, like 30 meter long lunge line, and I would tie it to one side of the trailer and wrap it around his butt. And then me and my mom would just like pick up rocks and just like throw rocks at his butt, and to like the point where it's just like annoying enough to where he'd just take one step forward at a time.
Oh my
one
God.
Step forward at a time, one step forward at a time. And it would take like sometimes 10, 15, 20 minutes to get this horse into the trailer.
Oh my goodness.
But if you did it just like one step at a time, because there was no way in hell that you're just going to like pull on that horse's face and convince him to get in. And if you like tried to, you were going to get hurt, because he was a lot bigger than you and he could hurt you without even trying.
You know, my friend Fiona, she's a wee woman from Scotland, and she is just a ball of energy. Like I think she's so brave. She's climbing trees, sawing branches off and stuff. I mean, like just like, you know, like how like different states in the Midwest, they're like, yeah, you know, you work on a farm, you're she's kind of like that kind of stock, but in Scotland. And she tells me all about the horses and what they go through, and there's so much drama about their hoofs and the wetness and so much care. And I feel like maybe it's not as bad here because we don't have as soggy of a ground. I don't know, but like it just, I'm like, how in the world the horses would they even survive with us anymore? Like how in the world did they survive before we like put shoes on them and stuff like that? Like wild horses must be built different.
So there are still, I think it's less than 1,000, but it's like over, like I think it's around the 500 mark, wild Mustangs that are still like wild in America, and they are fine without being shod. Now, because they are like on basically grasslands, there is enough moisture in the soil to keep their hooves from cracking, and there isn't so much to where they're getting like trench foot, basically, because horses will get trench foot. Also, horses, like their hooves are very susceptible to like causing problems for the rest of their body, because they have where like basically a lot of their blood pools in their hooves, and so that pad that's in the center of their hoof, it actually kind of acts as like a secondary pump for their circulatory system. So like we say, like horses have like 5 hearts because they have like the one in their chest and
In their foot?
So
that's so weird.
So like that's why they're able to like run for like a long time and long distances and stuff, is because they have, and on top of like their heart having to beat harder, it's not actually just their heart doing that, it's also their hooves are helping to circulate that, like the blood through their system.
That's trippy.
Yeah. So basically the anatomy of the horse's hoof is that they're basically like walking on like one fingernail. And that does cause issues, but it is like it wears down over time, like when they're traversing basically about 30 miles a day is how much wild Mustangs will go. So when they're in like a dry lot, they're not going to be putting that type of wear on their hooves. That's why they need to be trimmed. When they are working a lot and competing a lot, they put more wear than that. And that's why they need shoes to help prevent them from wearing. So it's all about like what level of wear. Now, if the hoof grows too much, and that has happened, and it happens a lot in like neglect cases and stuff, where
they get sores, right?
they can actually die. Because that is like literally they're just like standing on a fingernail. There's a bone in the inside of the hoof that we refer to as the coffin bone. And the reason why we refer to it is because one, it's somewhat rounded and hollow, but also because if that hoof grows so long to where that coffin bone tears away from the inside, from the ankle, it is actually like such an injury to where they will not recover from it. There is no way of recovering from it, and it is a death sentence.
Wow. They look like there's just so much work and they're so expensive. I mean, they're beautiful animals, but I'm always like, wow, I don't know how people deal.
They are very expensive.
Small fact about horses. Obviously, the modern horse is domesticated, of course, as you'd expect. But wild horses are very short. They're literally like ponies, no bigger.
Yep.
That's
so
a breeding thing, right?
They have very short legs as well. So it's kind of weird when you see the difference between that and what people have bred horses to be. It's as bad as dogs.
That's what we have done to them. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. We have turned them into like these thoroughbred crazy athletes via inbreeding. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, natural wild horses, the original breed, don't have nearly the problems that that horses that you're talking about have, and they can run for days.
So can I ask you what
wild
made you...
Mustangs are still a modern breed, and they still are fine. But yeah.
Can I ask you what made you choose English riding versus Western?
Jumps.
You want to jump? Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I grew up riding Western, actually. I rode Western until I was about like 9 or 10. And I saw people doing, I think I saw, what year would the Olympics have been then? Because that's probably, I saw the O'Connors at the Olympics. And I was like, I want to do that.
Oh, I don't know. It's not one of the Olympic sports I follow, not to be a jerk, but like it's just not.
You mean cross country, do you?
XC? I did show jumping, which actually like the O'Connors both do XC. They do CT. I think like David O'Connor's more known for XC. I can't remember her first name. But she actually is also a world-class dressage rider on her own. I think the two of them were kind of what inspired me to ride English. And then once I got involved in English riding was when I like found my niche was show jumping, hunter jumper.
Okay, amazing. Amazing. I mean, again, we went up every year. We went to see cross country at a place called Badminton, which is an estate where they have some famous horse trials. And these, I mean, it's a marathon for the riders as well as the horses. And when you see them galloping along like full speed at the end of the run, foam coming off every of their body. It's ghosts. Ghosts.
It's
I
not
had
a
a ghost in
ghost.
your room. I did. And there's an orb. Look, top right. There's
There
an
is an
orb.
orb. I see it.
Sorry. I may have got a little bit hyped up earlier. Don't know.
Oh, sorry.
I'm waiting for the door to open.
And National Velvet.
I remember that movie.
That's Steeplechase, which I don't think we actually even legally do that in the US anymore. Do you guys still do Steeplechase over there?
I don't know actually. I don't know. That's just like just big jumps, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
It
like
is.
a round around the track, and they go over the hurdles like a runner would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the
And
one
then
I
people are
saw was cross
falling
country. They
right
were
and
like
left. And the horses are breaking
big,
legs.
solid wooden jumps that didn't give.
Yeah. No, they don't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cross country, is it?
Yeah. Cross country has big solid. Now they typically for cross country they will only go up to 2 meters.
6 foot.
Yeah.
Wow.
They'll go
I
a
mean,
little
some of
bit
them,
over
and
that.
the distance, because they can be like 8 foot wide or some shit, can't they?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Taylor was a really good child actress. People really don't realize that. National Velvet's one of them. I think was she in Jane Eyre? I want to say like she had a few runs when she was a kid that she did pretty well.
Yeah. That was a really good movie. Mickey Rooney's in it.
Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney did tons and tons of movies with Judy Garland. So, Judy Garland from Wizard of Oz and Meet Me in St. Louis, which is my favorite Christmas movie, by the way. Mickey Rooney had tons and tons of movies with her. They were like not quite B, well, kind of B movies. They were popular B movies, sort of.
Yeah. Did they do any ghost movies?
Oh, ghost movies. There's ghost movies, but they're few and far between in comparison to. They picked up more when like Vincent Price started doing them and stuff like that. That's he's the king of that.
Okay. Now you've seen The Exorcist, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that is based on a true story that happened in St. Louis?
I didn't know it was in St. Louis. I never knew that.
It was, yeah. So I was telling Simos the other day, there is an empty lot there where that house used to be. They demolished the house and they have not built anything on it since. And they repurposed that wing of the hospital.
Was her name really Reagan?
I don't think so. It was a little boy. It was not a girl.
Okay.
But there is like documents, like I was telling Simos, there's documents from SLU, the hospital, where they like said that he like levitated off of the bed. And I want to know like what happened to where like that made it into like the medical documentation.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, if that sort of stuff actually like went on in front of me, I'd be probably really scared. Like I think that's really frightening, but yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what happened. I don't know.
You want to be in the room where it happened?
Yeah. This is XC, yeah.
Hollow at 10. Over the last goes Patrick McCarthy and Mr. Chunky's 8. Stop the clock in 11 minutes and 53 seconds. So just 8 seconds outside that optimum time.
Oh my God.
Come towards the PATB Outlander Bank at 13.
Oh, well done. Sorry, is this turning into like a watch party for? Okay, yeah. Is this a drop?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, Rose, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas was written for that movie. You're right.
Okay. Wow. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was 76. That's one of the years I went. That was the year I actually saw Prince Charles with Camilla for the first time. Prince Charles used to do cross-country riding.
With his mistress?
Well, this was before he was like, well, this was 76, so it was just his girlfriend at the time. But
there was a time where they probably wouldn't have allowed him to become king, but they did.
Oh, I mean, that's why she held on so long. I think the Queen.
And
she didn't want him to be king because she knew what would happen, that Camilla would become queen.
Well, I'm kind of surprised that they like. Is she really even queen, or is she's just like the king's wife, really?
Yeah, I mean,
So
like,
she
yeah,
lost
she's
her.
on the phone. She's on the phone. So
Okay.
But like as I say, that was 76, so they were dating in 76, basically, and the Queen said no shortly after when he
Isn't
said
that
that he wanted to
why?
marry her.
What's his face? They said it was like Nazi shit, but it wasn't. Well, it was.
What?
What's his face? The last one.
Harry,
The
one in America, the
Queen's
redhead.
uncle. Yeah.
Oh, the Queen's
The
husband.
spare?
Yeah, the Queen's husband was Greek.
Yeah. Okay. But the one that abdicated, who married an American, who was a divorcee.
Okay, Edward VII, probably.
Her name was like Wallace or something.
That's right. Yeah, Wallace Simpson Wallace, or Wallace Simpson, or something.
I just remember it was a man's name.
Yeah.
Well,
Simpsons.
I mean, it was a woman's name because she was a woman, but like that's traditionally a man's name.
That's right. Yes. I mean, I don't know. Back then everybody was a Nazi, really, weren't they? Let's face it.
Well, I had heard somewhere that like that was the real reason why he like abdicated the throne was because he was a Nazi sympathizer, but then they like made it about like Wallace instead.
Well, she was a
to like
divorcee,
save face, and it was like, well, like that, but like if he hadn't have been a Nazi sympathizer, they probably would have like let him become king and like let her be.
Well, he did become king, I think. He did.
Well, he
Edward
was,
VII.
yeah. But then when he announced that he wanted to marry her, he abdicated. Is that it?
Yeah, that's right. Because he wanted to marry her, and they said, no, you can't marry a divorcee because you're the head of the church.
Yeah. I heard somewhere that like that was basically just like to save face, that it was really a ruse because he was but I'm not like, how the fuck would I know?
I don't think that's never really stopped our German royal family in the past.
Okay, so yeah.
Just saying.
How did you guys end up with a German royal family? Just by marriage?
Hanover. It was George the. Oh, you get me. George II, probably.
Is it really even German anymore? It's half
I'm
Greek.
like, wow, guys.
George I, maybe, actually.
Is it? But the king's half Greek, right?
No. Well, I mean, yes. I mean, his father was Greek. Yeah, he's a Greek prince. Yeah.
So, like, they're not even really German, are they? They're
Nazi. No, well, she is with the Queen,
Right.
because it was the Queen's the royalty,
Right.
or the ruler. The Prince Philip was only a prince; he wasn't a king.
Right,
You
but
can't
what I'm
become
saying
king;
is,
you can only become queen if you're a partner.
but what I'm saying is that like Charles had one parent who was German and one parent who was Greek,
Yeah.
and he's the English king.
Well, yeah. We haven't had like, I mean, I can't even remember the last English king.
I mean, at least William.
No, I can. No, the Henrys, like Henry VIII.
Okay,
And
because
Elizabeth I, I think.
At least like when William comes to the throne, he'll have like one parent that was Welsh.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had Scottish kings, right? Obviously, this James VI of Scotland.
That's what I was wondering. I can't remember. James came before, or no, he came after. He came after.
Scottish,
That's right.
yeah.
After, and then I think it was the Germans, the Hanovers. But it's all to do with the Catholic Church, because we wanted to be Protestant. So it was either have an English or British, as the case may be, monarch, which was a Catholic, or have a German Protestant. And we chose German Protestant, rather. I think that was roughly what it was.
Yeah, Lutherans.
Yeah, don't know exactly what they are. But
yeah, they started out Lutheran and then or Protestant. But like the Germans, I think, used to call themselves Lutheran, and then And then this was before Anglican was invented in the Church of England, obviously. So,
I
but
doubt that because Anglican was first.
I was gonna say, wasn't that Henry that like
Well,
invented
maybe
the
you're right.
Anglican?
that's what I'm
I don't know when
saying.
Luther
Like
existed. Maybe Luther was
Luther
1500.
Luther was part of the Protestant. Luther was the guy that did the 99 Thesis and nailed it on the wall, and he was anti-Semitic and stirred up all that shit.
Yeah, Luther Vandross, is it? No.
A lot of Europe's anti-Semitism, which is very strong right now, may I do say. I will say that
Martin.
I will say that Lutheran was a root of a lot of it.
Yeah, 1546. So there you go. You're probably right there. I don't know when Henry VIII was.
Yeah, this is like massive competing ideas, right? Like constantly. And
Well, there
then
was one
you know,
before. There was one before, obviously, before Luther as well. So I don't think Luther was the first, was he? Because there was a guy from Austria.
Luther wanted to remain in the Catholic Church. Actually, he just wanted a Reformed church, and they were like, "Nope, you're out."
Yeah, he wanted them to come to his side, but instead they were like,
"You're out. You're out
"You're
of
on
the
your own."
tent."
Yeah,
Who knows? Who
but
knows?
I
All
should.
I
I'd
know is,
probably like learn more like British history if I'm gonna like move to the UK.
well, I wouldn't worry too much. Well, I suppose, yeah, British, yeah, Northern Ireland, yeah, fair enough.
Well, Northern Ireland is not part of Britain.
Technically, Great Britain is not. They're not in the
The
Union.
rest of you are all on that island, but not them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is it Great Britain and Northern Ireland? Is that it? Or is it UK? United Kingdom and Northern Ireland is the one.
It is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
So, like, all of y'all on that island, and Ireland's hat. Like that's.
It's close. It's close. Someone was
Ireland's
trolling.
Ireland's hat are invaders.
There you go. I was going to say something there. No, it's gone. Never mind. Oh yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. Next week for the Ghost, the Paranormal. I don't know if we are doing one next week, but if we do, we might be do Jesus because he's a ghost.
You need to save that for Easter.
Good point. Okay, yeah. Okay, fair enough. We'll save that one. The evidence is about as sketchy as the Gunsons.
I think next week is going to be Purple has her stream, like her Christmas marathon going. So I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but if there's an open spot, I'm down to like grab an open spot and do some paranormal home inspection.
I loved it. I thought it was fascinating. I'm on the fence still, just for the record.
Okay.
I'm on the fence still.
That's interesting because I kind of thought that you would be not on the fence, that you would be.
Can't we just talk about the Christmas Carol because actually that fits?
There you go. There's some, yeah.
Like did you know that Joseph Marley, Scrooge's partner who dies and is the first one in chains that like warns him that there's 3 ghosts that are gonna appear? Joseph Marley died because he was ran over by a carriage of horses and his jaw ripped out. It's pretty gruesome. Yay, Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We could definitely talk about that. I think it's interesting. Well, you and I kind of talked about it in the one stream, Spackle, how like the whole LDS doomsday prepper bullshit that's going on, how like a lot of their visions sound similar to what Scrooge went through.
Yes, actually, it's very similar. It's like the ghosts of Christmas past and present and future.
I had these visions of what is to come. But okay, yeah. Well, I will see if there's any spots available still for that and talk to you guys about scheduling it and we'll figure something out.
Yeah, no,
I
was just going to say the reason I'm on the fence is because when I was sitting on the fence, the gate opened and closed, or opened or closed. One of the three.
One of those. I don't know. Like, yeah.
And I couldn't explain it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. I was a little bit worried there for a second that you were going to tell me that you were like that lady who's like in defenses and like into like in defenses in like a special way.
Like the
Wasn't
same
me.
way
It
some
wasn't
people
me.
are into the couch arm. Is that what?
Yeah. Well, like, okay. So have you seen like the My Strange Addiction episode where the guy's in love with his car?
I saw the one with the guy that was in love with the pool toys.
Okay, same type of thing. So she's like that, but she's into fences.
Can you imagine the splinters you might be able to develop?
That's what I'm wondering.
Okay. Okay. Well, in the meantime, I think I've just got to quote that my little tagline here: "Don't stop believing."
Okay. I'm gonna believe in the power of the fence.
Thank you.
And I would just want to say, I want to believe.
I have no thoughts on believing. I feel like you don't get to choose what you believe. You either believe it or you don't.
Good
That
point.
is very Scully of you to my
Mhm.
Mulder.
Yeah. Very doxastic.
Yes, it does sound like she needs some good D back, but like apparently she is more into the fences than she is into the tea. I'm not going to find the video for you, but I've given you enough information that you can Google it and find it yourself.
Look,
It's
one day
wild.
she heard about wood and morning wood, and she misconstrued it.
Exactly. Exactly. Maybe that was the wooden toy.
God.
And the sound she heard was buzzing.
There was no buzzing. Y'all are wild. Y'all are wild. My goodness.
All right. Thank you, Savage.
Alrighty. I'm gonna call this quits. We're done. I love y'all. Thank you so much for coming. We are maybe gonna come back next week. Make sure you're subscribed and ring the bell to get notifications if you want to come back for more, because we're probably going to do more. This was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed it. And thank you so much to my guests for coming. And I will see you guys in the next one. Go and send my little fry. Go and send.
Avoid fences.
Woo.